Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to today's game out here. By the accent? No fucking reason. Also, if you're wondering where's my usual outfit, my hat, my scar. Yeah, sorry about that. They didn't clean, dry clean. You know how hard it is. And I thought today would be an easy review. It's short. Well, 20 minutes isn't short, but hey! It's about something I love. Fist of the North Star. If you're wondering why the hell it's like this, I had to order it online. Yes, it is hard to fucking find, and its sequel is a piece of garbage, which costs like $50, and that's like the same price for Yakuza 5. So if you're ever buying a game for $50 on the PS3 store, do yourself a favor and make sure you buy Yakuza 5, because I'd rather you buy a pinnacle of gaming there than the sequel to this piece of shit. Though I don't call it a piece of shit. I mean, like, it's a fine game, but point being is something's wrong with this, and it's made by the weirdest people. Koei Tecmo or Omega Force at this point. So what did I see where it's game? So what we're gonna do? You know what time it is. What?
When you talk about the granddaddy of shonen manga, there's only one that comes into mind: Hotonoken, or Fist of the North Star. Even now, it is still to this day more important than we ever really shall or can know. Where we say to ourselves, they should make a game about this. And what can I say? It's etchy. You know what I mean? It's etchy because you don't have any idea what it means and no idea how you would ever do it. But if you look about it nowadays, yeah, still making a lot about the series, even after 30 years of its release to the world at large. So, now, basically you're asking yourself, what the hell is Hotonoken? Or Hoto no Shingen, because that's what I call it, because that's the full name of it, in my opinion. It's all about a man named Kenshiro, motherfucker. That's not his name, but I call him that because he's Kenshiro, motherfucker. In any case, I'll call him Ken just for everyone's sake, who is a master of an ancient assassination style called Hoto no Shingen, which translates into Divine Fist of the North Star, hence the name and why I keep calling it that. An art that can kill someone by pressing a certain pressure point in the body, in which causing them to explode on the inside. Yes, I know what you're thinking right now. Why would he ever need to do this? Why would anyone ever need this power? Well, luckily the show makes a good way to make this possible by making the apocalypse happen. Yep. I have no idea. They also made something called DD Fits of the North Star, which it's funny. It's really funny to me. It's not a bad watch. And yeah, they never explain why it happened, but it doesn't really matter. It's a way to make the show happen. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need a reason of why everyone wants this thing for some reason. You just know it happened, just so that the plot can happen. In the short term, it's formulaic and, in my honest opinion, popcorn flick. Because it's like, at the end of it all, you already know one thing: Ken will win every fight. I mean, after the first fight, you know he can beat everyone easily. And I mean, like, except in a few cases when the enemy has some Deus Ex Machina that kind of makes them a little more powerful. You know what I mean? He will still easily win, which is strange to me because in any case, it's good overall. So now I know that sounds weird, but now we're gonna have to talk about the game, which is now gonna be the odd part of this. It's also named that, but with the adding of Ken's Rage, which, just to give myself some more space with the wordings of this, I'm just gonna call it Kendra just so everyone else. Because here's the thing. I usually go after something that's flawed, then or hit and miss. And I would like to always try to explain how something could be more awesome or make it work. Well, what's confusing to me here is it had everything going for it. It had a lot of things going for it. I mean, like, and like, the only way this thing could have messed up is that if someone punched all the direct everyone who was on this thing in the nuts, or in a place where they would create immense pain, either or. Because I'm not. Yeah. And then just left. And everyone was like, we gotta find that jackass. Punched us, and they just left for so long that they forgot to finish it. Yeah, this is what it feels like. Because here's the thing, I can hardly recommend this to anyone, to the average player. But the point being here is this. This is a Dynasty Warriors game that doesn't feel like a Dynasty Warriors game, which is made by Koei Tecmo or the W Omega Force, which is weird enough as it is because they only focus on Dynasty games or Masao games that Japan knows it. Which, strange enough, found out they had a patent for it. A patent. Good to know. And also, the weird thing is, they should have worked together. It's like cogs. Like, you get badass characters who are easily able to kill everyone, and you combine the two and another one game company that focus on solely on that, and yet you somehow mess that up. So, let's just get started. I do not want to say I like this game, but it's so easy to beat, and it's so a simple task, except the stars, which I'll go into later. While I'm going around to talking about it, and if you notice that earlier I'm using a PS4 controller, well, I'm using that because it fits my hands, and the one I had before me was a poor man's controller, which sucks ass, and only good for PC games now that don't use the camera, and or fighting game. It's actually really good for fighting games too, it feels really nice. But in any case, it's just a point to make sure that I'm not cheaping you out on the idea that I haven't played the game. I own the game. And it's just, it was so hard to find. That was the hard part. The nearest one was about 50 miles from me, and I'm not joking, 50 miles. And what's worse is that it costs so much. I found copies out there that are cost $60. $60 for this game. For fuck's sakes. The other problem is that its sequel's even worse, and somehow they even messed that up. How? Why? I'll never know. In any case, I might as well just skip over, or at least skim over the controls of the Dynasty Warrior game, because, like, they're really simple, and I've talked about some of them before, but might as well go over with them, just so you know I'm skimming over it. Like, heavily. Basic Dynasty controls are simple. Square is your normal, triangle is your hit harder, circle is your special move with the cool addition of this game allowing you to do multiple Masao attacks, which is the name of those specials, which is awesome because it adds a little more, dare I say, je ne sais quoi? I have no idea what that means. I just mean it adds that little more flavor of making sure I'm not bored enough. Active jump, even though that kind of makes no sense and only a few characters actually utilize it, or it just could have been some other thing. R1 does a character unique. R2 allows you to grab, which, fun fact, while I was writing this, I had forgotten it, and I had to check the manual. L2 allows you to come into badass mode. I call it The game calls it spirit mode, but I call it badass mode because it allows you to, if you press misstyle when you do this, it allows you to basically what I would like to call screw you on too powerful for you. L1 allows you to block. R3 kind of lets you lock onto well, certain enemies. I have no idea why. It makes no sense, and for some strange reason, the Dynasty Warrior games have been lacking the lock on. Which, I might add, if you want to know which game I'm going to compare this thing to, I'm going to compare it to Dynasty Warrior 7, for which I think is amazing and is my favorite game in the series. Just so you know. So since we got the controls out of the way, I can start talking on how this game really doesn't make any sense. For example, why the hell the levels are so big when there are barely, and I mean barely, enemies in the game, with a level themselves, and it is so spread out so far that I can hardly get to them. Well, or even get in a well striped. And that's annoying than anything. And yet, while I'm at it too, why the hell are the levels semi-connected? Yeah, I'm not joking. It's hard to notice at first because like the levels are like so bland a bit that it's hard to notice at first. But once you notice it, it's really jarring. And yes, it's annoying too. Next, I feel as though everyone is either so slow that it feels like it's annoying, maybe except the Nato users who feel like they are weaker comparatively due to their need to use their special mode to even let them hit harder and just have fun. And otherwise, I wonder if they were trying to mimic the show a bit on how like Ken walks super slowly everywhere. Like, I mean, like if he ran everywhere he needed to go, I think I think Ken could have saved a lot more people. Yeah, whatever, and it doesn't really matter in the end because it doesn't make it work. It doesn't work, and it doesn't have any use whatsoever. Which is now saying, which is now noticing, there should have been more characters than what we already have. Which, I mind you, there are 8, and two characters more. There would have been like 10, but 2 of those characters were pre-order and DLC, and no way in hell am I buying the DLC. Not wasting any more time with this. The other thing is the range of the attacks themselves, which are pitiable. I mean, pitiful. A pity the fool. I kind of went into this earlier, but I had to extenuate this point. Because I can't hit my enemies for crap unless I'm using my square, square, triangle, triangle move, which basically does the whole whip kick thing, which basically hits everyone around you in like a full circle, which I wish there were more moves like that, so that way I'm not always in this weird spot where you, the player, are stuck on this little spot here, only hitting what's in front of you. And it evens out more, and it's bad due to the moves you are allowed to use at first, which are what I would like to call lacking. Due to this semi-RPG where the game gives you skill points a la like Dynasty Warrior 7, however, this sucks because you can barely get enough to get a special move or gain more power or whatever is important about this. Because you want to know what makes this thing Fit of the North Star so awesome? It's about the power fantasy. I mean that. If you're lacking the power fantasy of fucking Fist of the North Star, you're basically not even doing that much. Even if we can agree upon the idea that, yeah, they had to change it just so it worked with the Dynasty Warriors formula, that still doesn't mean they could have just changed it enough to still keep the power in it. And I'm going to have to restate this. There should be more characters. And there are more characters in the sequel, but again, it sucks. Also, I'm gonna have to talk about the weirdest mechanic in the game, and I say this is the weirdest mechanic because it really works in not well with the system itself. And I like to call this the star system, which is flawed, very flawed, because no one's bothering with it. For two, and I mean there's two major reasons. One being the score system, which is entirely pointless because it gets you nothing from as far as I could tell, and it's most likely not worth it with also being enough even a joke about that stuff, man. And secondly, it's impossible. I say what? Even now, thinking about it, none of the levels allow it much. And the star system makes the literal final boss literally impossible. Dude, because you need to do a quick time event, which basically means you have to punch in a bunch of buttons, which are, oh my god, this is too much. Like, I think you had to do a series of 8 buttons in about a few seconds in a row for about 6 to 5 times. And trust me, that is hell in a nutshell. Boss fights are eh. They kind of don't work in general because they either heal when they get hurt or, well, at a certain point, you know what I mean? Meaning it takes longer to fight them, meaning you're just beating yourself at the skull while you're waiting for them. And also with the star system being an entirely nightmare, which should be avoided at all costs. um, well, the story here, I might as well talk about that a little bit. It goes with the simple thing of just going through the motions, you know what I mean? Where it feels like it's trying to do a lot of things, but it doesn't really do that much. Where you feel like it's trying at times, but at other times it doesn't. Like it's going through the plot points like that, but at other times it feels like it's slogging down with. Oh my god, this is something else. I have forgotten. Like, yeah, this is post production bit. The platforming. Oh my god, there's platforming in this fucking game. Dynasty Warriors. Let me tell you, you are not a platformer. You do not need to do that. All you need to do is make the fight fun. All you need to do. That's all you have to do. Okay? Okay? That's all you need to do. Platforming in the Fist of the North Star never made any sense. Anyone who tells you that were actually good parts, you can actually punch them for my sake. And they can sue me. Oh my. Also, just noting, just screw Rao. Oh, no reason. I had to add, for no good reason, Rao is overpowered and actually has long range attacks. The fuck? Seriously, the fuck? Graphically, it's alright. I mean, the characters look meh. I mean, like they look like they should at least at minimum. And the game can only make a spectacle when it wants to, and that's rarely. But here's the funny part. I always did like how Shin always has a shitting grin on him, and Ken. I might as well talk about the voice actors. They're like what I would like to call really good. I actually am not joking here. The voice acting is really actually pretty good, and they fit the characters really well. Even Ken, though we are not entirely sure how Ken should sound, because, like, how do you make him sound like a stoic badass while also making him sound super boring? Though, no, it is always still quite enjoyable to listen to. And gonna notice something here. What's with their hands? Seriously, look at their hands when they're attacking or doing something. And you'll notice that they're awkwardly like different from everything else in the game. And that's always something I don't get at all, why they do that at all. Musically? Don't I even need to say it's badass. And seriously, it's so awesome. It makes the game feel slightly better. Because it's done warrior music with It's the North Star. They even did a remake of Awa Tomose. I can't ever say it right. Or Yuan Sha, the theme to the show. Which is awesome, let me tell you. I have it on my phone now, and I'd dance to it all every day if I could. But that's for another day. Another day. Or maybe at the end of this video. You have to watch and see. You have to watch and see. Because here's the thing else I'm gonna tell you. To me, good music is where I'm stopping all my things and for a moment just to say, wow, that music's actually pretty good. If you could say that about a game's music, then it has a good quality in my opinion. And like it doesn't happen all the time, but if it happens, then it's good music.
So that was Fifth of the North Star Tangerine. Is it a great game? Nah. But should you buy it? Yeah, I recommend it if you're a fan of the Fifth of the North Star. Which, if you already are, then you most likely already bought this game beforehand, so you're not really losing anything. So I would ask you to steer clear away from the sequel. But that doesn't mean we're gonna get anything bad. Hell, they're gonna make a freaking Fifth of the North Star game soon. Are you here? It's made by Sega and the team that made the Yakuza series. So basically, yeah, you ever wonder why I just referenced Yakuza 5? Not only because I could always find it on the internet, but also because I'm reviewing Yakuza 6. And fuck do I have a lot to tell you. Because I also made sure I got this because motherfucker, it's Yakuza 3. Again. Stay around.